BWOne here at BWOne.com, and I got a question for you. What's up with Windows Mobile? Windows Mobile I've had for quite a while. I've been using on several different devices. I have it on my Verizon Touch Pro 2 here, which is the second highest rated smartphone out there, right underneath the iPhone, according to Consumer Reports. I'm using the Verizon. It's the Verizon version that they say that's number 2. I'm using Windows Mobile for a while, sitting there thinking to myself as I look at some of the other smartphone OS out there. You see Android and WebOS of Palm and Apple iPhone OS, and you just sit there and say to yourself, why is Windows Mobile slacking so behind? Those other operating systems have such great looks, such a great user interface, and a good experience. And Windows Mobile, you can tell the experience, is just very old and archaic. And you're having all these other companies such as HTC and Samsung just putting their own user interface on top of it to make it a much more easier experience to use the Windows Mobile phone. Now on the back end features in Windows Mobile, it has a lot of back end features that some of the other smartphone OSs don't have. So on the back end, the core part of it, it really has probably more than what a lot of the other ones have. But on the front end, the user experience wise, all the other phones are sort of right now, hands down, beating up Windows Mobile in that department, where it hasn't really changed that much in, I would say, years. I would say 3 or 4 years since you seen real change. That's why HTC coming out with their touch flow interface and the Sense UI that's going to be on the on Windows Mobile phones coming soon, and then you have Samsung putting the TouchWiz on top of it. And this makes me think, what does Windows Mobile need to bring, and what they need not to take away when they're coming out with Windows Mobile 7? The first thing I'm thinking of what they need to bring, key and foremost, is the user experience. It needs to have a great UI. It needs to have a great user-friendly experience. Very similar to what they have on the Zune HG. The Zune HG's user interface gets tons of praise. They need to bring something like that to the table with Windows Mobile. If they can bring that experience into your mobile phone, I think that's a very key thing to get people excited about Windows Mobile again. And one thing I think they don't need to take away, or need to be careful with, is the customization. What I mean by customization is that Windows Mobile, out of all the smartphone operating systems out there, is the only one you can really, truthfully find a way to sort of hack into the phone, unlock the phone, and put a custom ROM on there, so you can enjoy the phone and experience it in different ways, or you can clean out all the crutch. You can just have a clean, bare phone, or you can see what other users have added on top of it, or you can add stuff like SPB Mobile Shell to give yourself a different experience and stuff like that. And really, Windows Mobile is really one of the few that you can really do that with. And I'm hoping that's something they don't take away, because that's something that there's a large community out there for people that love to cook and make their own Windows Mobile ROMs that you can install onto the phone, and they love to keep up with it and keep generating them out, keep pushing them out, keep making them better. And I think Microsoft needs to be very conscious that that market is out there, and maybe find some way to interact with that market to really sort of push that out there so that people can make custom ROMs or customization, sitting maybe to the user interface, give different user interface experiences, stuff like different themes and stuff like that in a new version of Windows Mobile 7. So that's one thing I think they really need to keep, and one thing I think they really need to bring, obviously, is a user interface. But what I want to know from you is, what do you think Windows Mobile needs to bring, especially Windows Mobile 7 needs to bring when it comes out? Let me know. Just post your thoughts on this video. You can type your comments below, post a video response, head over to the description and click on the link, head over to BWOne.com. You can start a discussion over there as well too. So let me know what you think. This is BWOne from BWOne.com. Remind you to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/BWOne.com. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Just click the yellow button right next to the description over there. Follow our RSS feeds. Check us out on Ustream. We have that up and going. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition.